right. Another fantastic film and a fantastic report. Now you got those two clips and you got the McAllister clip second, right? Yeah, I know you do. I know you know. Just I want to make sure it's very important that these clips are in the right order for this report. All right, Marvin, let's do it. Good afternoon. I'm Steve S.H. Walters reporting for Breaking News 500 here in Vero Beach, Florida. Today's topic is the film Crime in the Streets. Now, before we get to Crime in the Streets, if you haven't subscribed, folks, please take a second and go ba-bing, subscribe. We greatly appreciate you, and we appreciate our loyal subscribers. And you don't need to watch those other news channels. They don't give you the real deal. They don't give you the straight scoop, and we do. So stick with us, and we'll stick with you. How's that? Now, let's get on to Crime in the Streets. This film was released in 1956, directed by Don Siegel. It stars John Cassavetes, Sal Mineo, James Whitmore, and Virginia Gregg. Now, the basic story is this. John Cassavetes plays the part of Frankie Dane, and he's 18 years old, and he's angry at the world. And he thinks he has all the answers, but he's got no answers. Now, why is he so angry? Well, you see, he lives in the slums of New York, and it's just his mom and him and his younger brother. He's got no father. They're in this small little one-bedroom apartment. They're very, very poor. Well, instead of helping out his mom and his younger brother, he's part of the problem. You see, he's the leader of a street gang called the Hornets. And he's out there getting in trouble and roaming the streets at night. He's not helping out the situation, but he doesn't realize that. He's 18 years old and he thinks he has all the answers. He's got no answers. Now, there's a social worker in town named Ben Wagner, played by James Whitmore, and he's lived the life. And he's trying to help these kids live the right life and get out of the gangs and do something productive and go for their goals and help their family and friends. He's trying to do good things, but especially with Frankie, Frankie doesn't listen. Frankie is stubborn. Frankie is, well, he's a handful, let's put it that way. Now, we've got a clip of Frankie and his gang about ready to rumble, and then we're going to go on to a scene right after that, after the rumble, and then we're going to touch on that clip. Are you ready, folks? Of course you're ready. The question is Marvin ready, and is he listening to me and got the clips in the right order? He's shaking his head. Yeah, I just give him a hard time. All right, Marvin, roll the clip.
You want to fall apart or something, huh?
Ask him what's his name.
What's your name, huh? Says his name is Herman Q. Pasta.
You know he's all dirty. He's all dirty.
Frank, what do we have to stand around with the jokes?
Hey, how come your club rumbles like girls?
Frank.
Okay, let's start the horsing.
Lenny's the one that got caught on that turf last week and belted around. What do you want to do with him? Break his arm off. Go, man. Go. All right. Take him into the alley. Let's move.
Oh, you're back. What do you think about that clip? Pretty interesting clip, huh? Now, I didn't give you the gang fight because I didn't want to, spoil that, and I also want you to go see the film on your own and see that. But the interesting thing about that big gang fight that they had was the producers didn't want to show any sharp-edged weapons. They didn't want to show any knives or broken bottles. What did they show? They showed boards with nails sticking through it, wrenches, baseball bats. So that's real smart. Sometimes these producers don't think. Now, the film was a huge success at the box office. They had a budget of $280,000. They did $1.2 million in the USA box office and $300,000 in the foreign. And the opening scene, they showed the Queensboro Bridge looking from the Queens into Manhattan over the East River, which I think gave it a good backdrop of New York for this episode of this movie. Now, Peter Falk and John Cassavetes were great friends, and Peter Falk said about John Cassavetes, he said he is the most fervent man he ever met, and he doesn't have a copycat bone in his body, which is a great compliment. I knew it was a compliment, but I didn't know what fervent meant. What does fervent mean? Do you know, folks? I only have a high school education. I didn't know. I had to look it up. Well, I found out it means very intense, enthusiasm, passion, and that's a very nice compliment, and that's very true with John Cassavetes. You can see it with his acting. And that brings us to our next clip, where you're going to see that with him, with the clip with Mr. McAllister. Are you ready for this? I know Marvin's ready. I'm ready. You're ready. All right. Roll the McAllister clip.
Mr. McAllister. Listen, I'm talking to you. What was he doing to you? Come on, I'm asking you a question. What was he doing to you?
Look, boy, the last...
No, don't look, boy, me. Do you know where he is? He's in jail. Because you've got this great big mouth.
It's where he belongs, and you with him. You're making a cesspool out of this street.
Listen to this. One night you're going to go home, and you're going to look into your mirror. And you're going to find a brand new face, Mr. McAllister. One night. Maybe this week.
Well, what do you think about that scene? Mr. McAllister slaps Frankie. You don't touch Frankie. You don't slap Frankie. Well, that just went from wanting to hurt Mr. McAllister to wanting to murder Mr. McAllister. Now he's going to meet with the gang, and he's going to plan on how they're going to murder Mr. McAllister, his neighbor. Well, the producers decided, even though it was in the script, we're not going to murder Mr. McAllister. We're going to change that from a murder just to intimidation. Now, how do you change it from a murder just to intimidation? Well, they did a great job with that, and I think it was a smart move. You have to watch the film to see how they did it. Now, actor Mark Rydell played the part of Lou Macklin, who was one of the gang members of the Hornets. And he had a lot of great lines and great scenes, but he was arguing with the director because he wanted more face camera time. You know, face camera time, show my face. Well, they showed his face plenty, and he did a great job with his part, but some actors let their ego get the better of them, and in this case, I think that's what happened. What can I say? Sometimes that's actors. Now, the ending of the film was a surprise, and it was a great ending. I really liked the way they did the ending. And there's a good message in the course of this movie, and they don't come out and say it, but basically the message is this. Live your life right, folks. Don't become part of a criminal organization. Don't become a gang member or involved with bad people. Just live your life right. And even though life isn't easy and it's tough at times and you get frustrated and you get bogged down, just continue to live your life right. You'll be happier for it and you'll be a better person for it. And that's really the way to live life. And that's in the film, but you have to kind of pull it out as you watch the film. Now, I've got a special quotes from the man himself, John Cassavetes. Now, I got three great quotes, and I'm going to touch on them. So that means I'm going to have to put Marvin back to work. Now, we're out of envelopes, folks, so I'm just going to pull out my special quotes here, and I'm going to ask Marvin. You know what I'm going to ask for, right, Marvin? Drum roll, please. Thank you, Marvin. All right, let's see what Mr. John Cassavetes has to say. Special quotes from him. He says, as an artist, I feel we must try many things, but above all, we must dare to fail. Well, I agree with that. You know what he's saying? Basically, take chances, take risks. You know, nobody ever gets ahead playing it safe. You're not better off playing it safe. Now, some people live safely and live a comfortable life, but from acting and sports and different things in life, you got to take risks. You got to take chances. You got to show some cojones, and I agree with them 100%. You got to dare to fail. You know, I take risks with this channel. You know, maybe this channel doesn't last. Who knows? We'll last, folks. We'll last. With your help, we'll last. You got to take risks. You got to take chances. You got to show cojones. I agree 110%. I thought that was a great quote. Now, in number 2, he says, people have forgotten how to relate or to respond. What I'm trying to do with my movies is build something audiences can respond to. Well, I agree with that. Now, just looking at that scene with him and Mr. McAllister, doesn't that kind of rev you up? Didn't that get you to respond somehow? He delivers that with his acting. He did a great job as Victor Franco in The Dirty Dozen, his character he played. He builds your emotions. He builds you to respond. I think that is really great, and it's a good quality. And lastly, he says, I'm a professional actor out of defense. I prefer to be an amateur actor, but I need to make money to make films. Unfortunately, it's a very extremely expensive hobby. Well, I know a little bit about that. and he's right there also. I think those are some good quotes from John Cassavetes. Now you can see this film for free on Microsoft Bing and the Internet Archive. It's a great film released in 1956. If you haven't seen it, go see it. And if you've seen it, go see it again. And put down in the comments what you think about this film, your favorite scene. There's so many great scenes and stories put together in this film. I can only give you a couple clips. There was so much more I wanted to give you, but then what am I going to do? Give you the whole film? Right, Marvin? We don't want to do that. No, we just want to give you a clip or two. And we want you to go see the film. Well, hope you've enjoyed this look back on crime in the streets. I'm Steve S.H. Walters reporting for Breaking News 500. Have a great day.